a magical place called rehab. Right. This is the thing about this case that came up, where I'll point to I saw something in it that would have driven me fucking nuts, and to distraction and fuck you and door slam out the door. Where there's like a rubber wall with Amber Heard, and it be the magical land of rehab, the magical notion of rehab. You need to go to rehab, and everything will be fine, and you'll get clean and sober. And I'm like, does anyone know any alcoholics? Does anybody know any heroin addicts? Does anyone know any like general fucking wreckheads who'll take anything? I've been surrounded with them my entire life. Been one. I am, right, what they would call, because I know this, right. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a dry alcoholic. And it's like, how do you know you're a dry alcoholic, John? I said, well, I have a drink about once a year. But once I've had one, the one can become 20. Excuse me. Yeah, I just don't stop. And so it's like when you hear of people who go into, when people go into rehab, you hear of them being fucking dead not long after. And it's like, well, it's the cold turkey. It's like your body's used to a certain amount of work, and you give it a rest, and then you ask it to work again at full tilt, and it's like slipping and slipping and slipping, and it's like next thing. So you're on your own, you've got no one to shake you, because that's all it takes. Hey, are you alright? You need someone's eyes on you. Well, if you go, you end up being Amy Winehouse. It's like no one in their fucking life told her a word of truth, did they? No one. Everyone around her were a liar, and she didn't have a friend in the fucking world. But when that meme comes out every year, when it's a birthday, when they're like fucking 8 years sober, you'll get like 100 people claiming that they cared about that woman. How dare you speak of her that way? My imaginary friend. It's like she didn't have a friend in the fucking world. Not even an imaginary one. Why? Because none of them even attempted to save her from herself. And their answer to her problems was magical rehab. And what did magical rehab do? It fucking killed her. When she got off it for a bit, went back on it at the same sort of rate as she did before, and caused a toxic shock to her body and killed herself. Like junkies. It's like when a millionaire goes out like a tramp and dies in the street. That's what it is. Rehab. So it's like, they try to make me go to rehab. I say no, no, no. Because there's no such thing as magic, I'm afraid. It's like bagheads, right, often tend to enjoy being bagheads. And it's other people fucking with them with this magical cure that gaslights them to death. Gaslights them. They're like, fuck off. It's like you're a smoker and someone comes along and says, I don't understand why you don't just give up. And you're like, well, I'm kind of chemically dependent. It's as if it worked for this and the caffeine, I don't know if there'd be a soul inside me. And be right. It's like, would you like some boredom because of chemical withdrawal? Some like severe boredom, like boredom that'll drive you fucking crazy. And can be instantly fixed with a smoke. I'm like, no, I'm better off dead than not smoking. Excuse me? It's like, yeah, I'm better off dying of it. Well, I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no one giving me that in my ear saying, you could do it, get it off the smoking. It'll kill you in the end. And it's a funny old thing to me because I smoke, but I also come from a culture of people who think it quite normal to drink 50 pints a week. So it's like, you drink your 50 pints a week and I'll smoke me. about 40 gram of Old Alban a week. And she was fucking ourselves up the most. It's like I used to suffer from like indigestion me all the time. I used to have to watch what I ate. And people say, smoking's doing that to you. You need to give up smoking. So I gave up drinking and it just cured itself. Gone. Doesn't happen anymore. It's like, could it have been done with all that alcohol I'd been imbibing that was fucking with my stomach? And it'd be a matter of, yeah, it was the alcohol. The alcohol doing far more harm to you than the nicotine and the smoke. And it's like, it's funny that, you know, because I used to do all of them things. I'm like, the drink will kill you. The drink will kill you. I know people who've died of drink. Many, many people who've died of drink. And no one could do anything about it. And no one could stop them and they died of drink. And it's a fucking horrible way to go. Dying of drink is terrible. It's like, you died 20 years ago, but it took you 20 years to die. Dying of drink. So I get it with these lot. It's like, you if you want to wind up someone who's Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp is a fucking junkie and a big one, talented one. But it's like, when you get to a certain stage is when you're sort of worth money to the system, as you are. They don't give a fuck that you're a junkie anymore. Ask Keith Richards. He can walk through airports with bags of heroin and it's a matter of he just walks straight through. They have a word with him and it's like, look, you know the score with this. He got caught with enough heroin once to go to prison for the rest of his life. And what did the city of New York make him do? Put on a free concert. It's like drugs are only a problem until they're not. So what we've got there is a fucking absurd person mouthing off things they know nothing about. And there's nothing that would wind up someone more than that. This, what she kept saying, rehab, clean and sober. Every time she said it, I'm like, said it again. Said it again. As if she was somehow trying to put this guy on the straight and narrow and she'd made that her job. And it's a matter of, did he ask for that? And the answer's, no, he didn't. She just thought that that's what should happen. Oh, so she used it as a stick to beat him with. Oh, no, she loves him. She wants him to be... No, she used it as a stick to beat him with. It would have just that effect. It's like, you're a dumbass if you think that magic rehab exists. So as soon as he starts to get a bit, let's say, he's the centre of attention, isn't he, Johnny Depp? Well, she wants to be as well. And it's just the nature. It's like, her being the centre of attention is what has attracted him in the first instance. He thought, oh, something about her. And we know what it is, don't we? He's like, I can see myself on that all day. It's like everyone's forgotten Johnny's testimony. Johnny's testimony showed him up as being a fool and a fucking stupid old junkie. Because he had designs on her and she had designs on him. So it's as far as defamation goes, you know, defamation, right? I ain't got anything to say about that. The jury decided that. As far as defamation goes, I ain't got nothing to say. As far as clusterfuck goes, right? It's on him. It's like, you married her. You had a choice at every step of the way. There was a massive power differential in your relationship from start to finish because, let's have it right, if you're not Johnny Depp, you're not picking her up. It's like, she's got a dollar value on every street in the world, Amber Heard, because there'd be plenty of people who queue up to say, oh, I wouldn't mind getting to know her. It's like she's got some, like, real world value in the first instance when he was first around her. So she doesn't have to be an actress. She can go and find herself any kind of guy she likes. She can probably pick and choose. She's probably picked and chosen so far. But Johnny, he's a famous fucking deadbeat. I won't say deadbeat. That's probably a mean thing to say. I'll say he's an old junkie, and he quite enjoys it. And to move into his life is to actually accept you're moving in with someone who's got not health problems, but is a fucking junkie. It's like, what did she expect? And then what did he expect? He's asking someone to go out of their fucking way for him, and, right, most will be married to someone who's going to be separated from him for like months a year. It's like, it came across in the trial that he had the understanding that she was just going to follow him all over the world and go on the Johnny Depp tour with him, which would have been okay, right? Them two could probably get on together in the day-to-day, but being separated from each other for months at a time and being both paranoid fucking crackpots, they've driven each other to despair. But this magic rehab, it'd be, if someone was to like move into my life, right, and say, John, you need to give up smoking, John, you need to spend more, you need to go out and exercise more, John, you need to spend less time reading, less time in front of your computer, less time doing what you do, we need to get you on a fitness program, we need to get you on a diet, eventually you just get this bounced off your fucking head. You would, you just, might hit, you might not, go for you, fucking knock your head off with a fucking flying phone. Don't be fucking stupid. You think the 100th time someone's given you this, well, I'm taking the position of magic and I'm asking you to make changes, and you're like, you're talking about like impossible things. This old, I'll do it for you, babe. No, you won't. You'll say that, and you won't. So it's like, her side of the story is all these broken promises of simpy Johnny Depp giving it the, I promise I'll get clean and sober. I promise I'll get clean. And this be a game. It's like, Johnny Depp's off his fucking head, right? And has signed himself up to a death warrant of a wife. It's like, wherever she went, she'd be trouble. But he signed up for her, and he had an idea she was trouble. It sussed out that she had issues well before they ever got married. Why didn't he get the fuck rid? And the answer is, well, he's a dumbass, that's why. And he's got his own issues too. Oh, I love you, baby, I love you, I love you. Fucking. So like, he comes across, top and bottom of it, as like almost a guy who really struggles to fucking communicate. Like, in the real world, the connection between brain and mouth ain't that great with that fella. I'm just saying, it's like all the fucking burning the candle at both ends has certainly slowed the guy down. It has. It's like, what is he, 58 now? It's like they should cast him, right? In spaghetti westerns, as like an old fat Mexican guy who's eating beans out in front of a cabin saying, "Si, senor." Does he look like he should have a fucking sombrero on? Looks like some big fat tourist. Yeah, you tell me he's got a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle. No. And so it's like, would you like to join in? And it's like, if you were a lad like myself, and it would be a matter of Johnny Depp wants a word, and go over and we'll have a few glasses of wine, shall we? I'd be like, oh, when shall I turn up? Where do you want me to be? Right? And I'd be like, oh, you fucking hell, it's like I got fucking legless, full of drugs, and, you know, back home, and I haven't put my hand in my pocket. Hasn't cost me a penny. I've been fed. I've talked to all these interesting people and shared all my stories and jokes, and they're all just people. Everyone seems to get on. And what a fucking great guy Johnny Depp was inviting me. So it's like, you got that side of it. As to where the lads probably like him. Probably a lot of fun to be around Johnny Depp, because he's one of these. He ain't got much to say. So what does he do? He listens a lot. Actors, that's the thing with actors, have like got a good ear. They're generally listening to you, and you're like, are you trying to learn something, or are you just listening? What are you hearing here? And it's like, you find it with actors, they get tied up with rhythms and just like listening to people speak. And they're not picking up on you, they're picking up on how your accent works and the rhythm of it. So not particularly interesting people. Of actors I've had conversations with in the past, and there's been a few, not on the internet, all in real life, I've run across quite a good handful. It's like, I learned about this thing about stars, as I've talked about in videos before. When I was 17, Bobby Ball threatened to have me killed and appeared to mean it. He was someone I'd seen on television since I was about the age of 4. And I ran into him sort of professionally through work, and something wasn't up to his high standard, or there'd been an error made that could be explained, but at that moment in time I didn't have an answer for it, and he threatened to have me killed. I'll have you killed. And I'm like, wow. Knocked me back. He'd been a guy I'd seen him on television as a kid every week, or what seemed like every week for all my life. It's like he's a famous sort of Rochdale person, dead now. A famous local, one of the most famous locals alive. And he gets to mouthing off that he's fucking heavy mates, because it's like, oh well, you won't kill me, you'll have me killed, and I knew you're trying to threaten me with, because you don't know the guy you're trying to threaten me with is someone I know, he's a customer too. So do you think he's gonna fucking kill me? Because, but just in that moment, he's like, and then the thing is with that altercation I have, right? I was 17, but I was 6'3", and like match fit, let's say. So when he cut up rough with me and give me the old my response to it was not to coward. Mine was to say, oh, I know about this, excuse me. Yeah, it's like he got nasty with me, and I stood up for myself and said, all right, let's see how that plays out, shall we? And then when he left, then he hit me. I goes to see my boss in bottom office. I says, Bobby Ball just said to me, like, I just did, the impress, have you killed? And my boss is like, did he? And he's like, you wait here. He says, I'll have a word with him for you. I'm having that. So this is like days of early sort of car phones and the like. Hello, Bobby. Yeah, it's Tom. Never mind that. Who do you think you're talking to in my place? You're threatening to have my receptionist killed. It's like, I don't know who you're hanging about with, and I don't know who you think you are. But it's like, if you come in here and disrespect any of my staff again like that, so you'll never be allowed to come in this place again, and everybody will hear about this. Right, see ya. Guy came back crying his eyes out. I'm so sorry I threatened you. I don't know what came over me, just in that moment I just felt so angry. Right? So he apologises, and he's got hold of me and just like, John, I'm so sorry. And then next day, having to deal with him again. Brings his mate with him. Tommy Cannon, someone, his sidekick, his partner, comes in with him. And when he's got his mate with him, he's a fucking clever dick again, making threats. Oh, yesterday you were crying your eyes out, apologising, and today you once again acting the fucking hard man. I'm like, look guys, you can mouth off, but you're fucking old. Like, don't be threatening me, so I'll fucking have you. It's like, I'm from fucking Psych, mate. It's like, you don't mouth off to me and you're not going to get this. You know, you're not going to get away with this. I'm not having that. And I stared down, what's it? Fucking TVs. Tommy Cannon, and says, you better shut the fuck up before I fucking batter you, mate. And he'd be, well, and are you going to fucking behave now? Can we just do the job and can we have like no more of this acting the fucking go? And I'm a kid. But thing is, right, I'm a kid of 6'3" who's faced with 5'5" midget and his fucking titchy mate. People on television are like this big, and it's like they might be able to do a sketch where they can cut it in such a way as to you can probably fight, right? But you can't really. And it's like, you see that great big fucking window there? So I pick you up, throw you through it. Fucking idiots. So it's like, I got my first dose of celebrity when I was in my teens and saw the way that they can behave in with their fucking ups and downs and mood swings, and it's a matter of difficult fucking people and get away with murder because mostly people give them just endless goodwill, right? I've given celebrities endless goodwill right up until the moment when one threatened to have me fucking killed and was not capable of doing it. Not a believable threat, but the horrible little curse that came out of his mouth stayed with me till this day. I remember that day like it was fucking yesterday, and I'll never forget it. And it's like, have you dealt with any other celebrities in your time, John? It's like, yeah, it's like, do you remember a guy who used to do play school? Derek Griffiths, fucking brilliant guy, black fella, used to play the guitar and do that do. I had him as a customer. He was lovely. He was an old BMW motorbike enthusiast, and it's like, yeah, really, really nice fella. We've had like Carl Fogarty, right? You might not have heard of Carl Fogarty. Well, Carl Fogarty, but like, wow, you're small in real life. You look nothing like, it's like you in photographs. You look like you're quite kind of like a hawk-eyed, mean guy, but in reality, I could put you in a bag and take you home because you're that small. He was cool. I met Dougie Lampkin. If you're into trials riding, he's a like global superstar. I met Mike Harding. He was exceptionally nice to me, but since then, I regret not having, if it had been now having a word with Mike Harding, I could have a tremendous conversation with him over the damage he's done to the reputation of the town with his terrible song that was a big hit in the 70s called Rochdale Cowboy, which is what has given me my nickname when I ever work on the road, Rochdale Cowboy. And it's the reason why all these fucking companies down south will buy a shop front to turn it into a fast food giant, and they'll call it Dallas Fried Chicken, Chicago Fried Chicken, LA Burger Bar, and it's a piss take. It's like, yeah, these fucking Rochdale Cowboy twats, every one of them, they take the piss out of us and name new things that come to the town in things that are slightly sort of American or Western. It's like, you fucking twats. Fucking Mike Harding, no. Met Mike Harding, a big star. If you don't know who Mike Harding is, he's still a fucking big star. It's like, well, what's he doing now, John? It's like, he's like the main guy in like gig entertainment for BBC Radio 2. And he has been for years. He's like always been famous. And he talks in that way like someone from Rochdale used to. That's a good Mike Harding impression. Met him, dealt with him a few times, and his wife, lovely people, and I put it to him, I says, because I got to talking to him, and I'm very familiar with his work. It's like, yeah, we get your albums when they come out, your comedy albums, and we buy them on, we get them on vinyl. So we've got the vinyl at home, and then we tape one to send it to my Uncle Fred in Australia, because your stuff's not for sale in Australia. So we buy one, do him a copy, so it's like we've got all your records at home, and send them to Australia. And he says, I says, you couldn't do me a favour, could you? It's like, what? I says, can I have an autograph for my Uncle Fred in Australia? It's like, he loves you, he thinks you're brilliant. It's like, listening to you reminds him of home, because you speak with our voice. And I've got this pad, a nice pad of paper that I had, the best paper of the things I've had for writing on. I says, can you just autograph? And he draws a self-portrait of himself with a hat on with all the corks on it, an Australian hat. And then he draws a kangaroo. In fact, no, he drew himself as a kangaroo with his own face on, with one of them Australian hats. And it's like, to Fred, best wishes, Mike Harding. So next time we were to send out to him, we sent it over to, so here you go. Some celebrities, like, they understand that little time spent can generate that much goodwill, that he'll have walked away having drawn me that, because he's good at art. He was like fucking Salvador Dali fucking thing. It's like, yeah, so I got to watch him draw it. It was fantastic watching him just draw it. It's like, it's like, fucking hell, celebrities. Like, some of them have got some fucking right skill. Lovely. It's like, wow, it's like, you just made my day. Again, experience there with a celebrity that I'll never forget, watching him draw that portrait. It's beautiful. But it's like, dealing with him. Him, older fella, manners, right? Ever since, though, the Bobby Ball incident, I always, if I deal with celebrities, I'm like, fuck these guys, right? So I'll just rip the piss out of them. I'll just be myself around them a bit and just be gentle and take the piss and try and have a laugh with them. Right? And once I suss that out, years later, you run into like Robbie Williams. Right? Robbie Williams used to be a big deal. Met him twice. And it's like, in being the same age as him and like roughly the same size, you look him straight in the eye and it's like, all right, okay. And his attitude, because I'm not going, wow, he's like, where do I know you from? Because you're not kissing my ass. Where do I know you from? It's like, well, you don't, but I'm not treating you any special. I'll treat you with respect. I'm not kissing your ass because I've seen you on television. I think your music fucking sucks, but you seem like you're a laugh. You seem like a warm guy, good laugh, kind, nice lad, and he is. It's like if you actually greet him on the level playing field, as to say, lad, yeah, I knew you are. It's like, I'll bet on you that I knew you are. And they're like, where do I know you from? Because mostly people go, fucks them up. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with it? There's some brilliant stuff written about it by that Matthew McConaughey in his book, as to where, ever since he got to where he was well known, it's like every person he ever meets in his life, he asks himself the question, what does this person want from me? And why shouldn't he? He's a smart guy. And it stands in the way of him being friends with people. He's got good reason not to trust people because they think they know him. I read his book, I think I kind of get him. But it would be to speak to the guy, it'd be a matter of, no, you've got to treat him like a human being. Not someone who's like, because that power differential, if you fall into that power differential between you and him could have him use you, groom you, charm you. So you shouldn't recognise that. You should meet people on the flat. You should meet people on the level, which is what the old funny handshake brigade's about. How you approach the next person. You should be able to tell you're dealing with a mason, you know, without even seeing any signs or symbols in the way that he addresses you. And it not be something that's unique to that. It's just someone understanding about respect. And no one really respects celebrities as people because they give it that and then there's that power differential, and then you're opening that door to where if that person's wicked they can have their way with you because you're fucking bowing down to them like they've got some kind of authority. It's not so much they abuse power as you give them power. You give them your power and they abuse it. Because you're giving people your power, it's like that's how you give your power away. You know, the mystics have all been saying, you're giving your power away. And you know, what the fuck does that mean? It's like you're allowing for differentials in power in your relationships. So you're being led, you're being used. That's what giving your power away is. Getting starstruck. You should never be starstruck. Footballers have probably got the ability to make me starstruck. Footballers. But not musicians and not actors. Footballers. And it's like, the football is a different thing. Is a different kind of celebrity. It's like there's working. That's a working piece of fucking equipment. That's like a horned, not a machine, a statuesque sort of specimen that's worked towards one purpose for their entire life, and it'd be hard and fucking dangerous. Get it? Fall into bad company. Footballers I like. Footballers I'm like that with. Footballers I'm a bit, because if I meet up with a footballer or I get to talk to a professional footballer, I'm like, ooh, I have respect for them mega, right? Actors, nah. Actors, musicians, nah. It's like, nearest thing to endeavour you guys fucking come to is often getting out of bed in the morning. That'd be the thing that fucking stumps you at every turn. I'm saying, these fucking types, right? These celebrity types, I'm saying, they're a mixed bag, and it's like, you bring half of it with you. If you want to stay out of trouble with them, don't bow down to the power. Don't be starstruck. Understand that you've got power too. Level playing field, they can't fucking... I've not run across one who can handle me. I can be... Alright, okay. But if you give way to that, oh, it's Johnny Depp. That's what's happened with Amber Heard. She thought she knew Johnny Depp before she fucking met him because she'd said, I don't listen to a few of his movies, fuck off. No, the guy's a global superstar. He's been in big movies. In her time, she'll have almost grown up with Johnny Depp. You can't tell me that she didn't know what she was signing herself up for. But it's like he was like a headcanon. He was an imaginary friend. And he clocks her and she is an unknown, and he says, oh, I'll have some of that. And then he gets to know her and he realises she's a fucking knobhead. And he's like, oh, I'm going to have to protect her. So he's fucking bullshit heroic white knight act, and him trying to then school her, right? When he was unable to school her, he should have got the fuck rid of her because she does not listen. There's a give and take, isn't there, in this? She's going to have to make sacrifices, and so is he. She ain't listening. She weren't listening. He should have got rid of her. And say, well, why are you dumping me, Johnny? Because you don't listen to me. and him have a fucking massive pint and it'd be okay, well, alright, if those are the terms, well, I'm off then. Yeah. And you know, the thing is, Amber Heard, right? Never more than a phone call away from a new fella. In her life. Never more than a phone call away from a new beau. So it's like, she can replace Johnny. She replaced him with the richest man in the world. How about that? So he said, Musk, he says, I hope they put it behind them because each themselves can be incredible. And saying about, these are people, right, who've got what I call a high upside. When they're good, they're great. But when they're bad, they're absolutely fucking terrible. But they're valuable because they're high upside. And it's people like that, if you can, someone like Musk, who's a cerebral narcissist, but that's probably an understatement. I actually think Elon Musk's, I think he gets it now, Elon Musk. And if he's a cerebral narcissist who gets it, it's like by way of him being an influence, he could change the world. He could be the one who straightens things out and actually gets us talking about the things that are important. You never know. But it's like, she was able to latch onto the world's richest man, like bang, like he was willing to be a side man. So what fool he's made of himself in that. And it'd be a matter of, wow, this amazing sort of Tesla guy, he was made a fool out of, fucking used. Ended up being a caretaker for a broken person. And she'll have hurt him in ways that he won't have ever felt pain before. Because he's been used in a different way. He's been used as, sympathy daddy. You can become dependent on somebody. You can become dependent on being sympathetic to someone who's broken. And if you become dependent on to always giving sympathy, and then that goes away, that's like you've lost your job and your partner at the same time. So what's my purpose now? Because I've made it my purpose to be supporting and giving sympathy to this needy person. And then the next thing you know, she don't need you. And you're like, what? You're an emotional cripple. Suddenly you've recovered and you're off on your way. It's like, what games have you been playing? So it's like, there's a toxicity to the whole thing. But this sort of, this imaginary friend thing that I can talk to you about and you can think about, because we're talking about people here that none of us know. Could it be that they do the same with each other? And I think that's, yes, they do. They kid themselves that they are people that they are not, and then they sell that to somebody else, and then they find out in turn who each other is, and find out that they should never have been together in the first place. Sell themselves on both, selling themselves on an idea of what the other is, or what their potential is. When you say potential, potential's a great word. I love potential. Because if you've got potential, it means you're a fucking loser. You won't say that Elon Musk has potential, would you? He made it. He's not got potential. He's fulfilled his potential. But to say someone's got potential is another way of saying they've not done anything. They're a fucking loser. They haven't done anything yet. Has potential. But also seeing that in someone is to have designs on someone. And trying to make someone something they're not. I see signs of that, where people have been led down garden paths in their careers that they didn't want. Got themselves in all kinds of trouble. It's like we have a wide question to ask is, who the fuck are you? We think we know people, and we don't. So, and then when these great lights shine upon you, is I just got a DM from strangest DM I got was from Russell Brand and having the crack. Strangest ever. It's like fucking hell. And then it struck me straight away to say, well, in this Facebook thing, it's like we're all just even on this platform, aren't we? You're not going to smash my face in. You don't know where I live. But then when the power creeps into that, the power differential creeps into that, it's like sometimes you don't understand where the power differential is. I mean, I get it sometimes where, I mean, personally, it's like I get the odd message from people. I get loads of well-wish messages. I've had them over the years. Oh, yeah, watch your videos, great stuff, like it. And you're like, fine, fine, I'll make friends with you. And I don't recognise sometimes that there's a power differential there and that I can overpower people. Or I've got ability, they look at me as being some kind of, you know, something that they think they know. And I'm like, oh, no. The true story is far more exciting. It's like, for those of you out there who think, you know, John would be good company and things like that, could you do with talking to somebody who knows lots about all kinds of things, who's never wrong? And I'm like, excuse me? It's like, yeah, never wrong. And he'll be sat next to his computer, and if he thinks he's wrong, he'll go on Google and, yep, see, there you go. So on topics, on things I'm willing to speak, I'd be like phenomenal. And be filling your head all day. And if you find that entertaining as to where you might learn something about something that you're interested in too, you'd be riveted. But could you put up with that all the time? As soon as I get one person, I have an audience. Don't have any problem. Don't mind talking to strangers. Don't mind. I'll take people as they say. I will take people as I find them. For years, it's something I've been trying to fucking put to these guys. In, I mean, can we have some fucking credit come my way from, you know, my attempts to intervene in that community of the old alt-right alternative media, where I've said, can I have a word, please? To quite a few of them, and they're like, who the fuck are you? And then they look at me and they think, oh, he's only got, like, yeah, you get it now, don't you, dickheads? It's like, what if I had 55,000 subs and not 3,000 or 2,005 or whatever it is, 4,000, 3,000? What if I had 55,000 subs I'd just bought, where someone had sold an account? Because people do. I've seen it happen many times. Like, I subscribe to someone, the next thing you know, they've rebranded the account and it's now been sold and it's now peddling clips. It's now peddling football. It's now peddling, and then once they do that, it'll then become another person. So I'm subscribed to people who've got channels that I've never seen, and it's because the channel's changed hands a couple of times. Someone's bought it and then resold it. So I got this fake thing saying, oh, I've got thousands of subscribers, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're a big shot, and it's like, please, bitch. You don't know that. Because there's upshots there is upshots dealing with me. It's like, as you know, as I'm kind of a political kind of nihilist. What? Like, yeah. I think you ignore half of the world with what are the talking points from both right and left. Like even the conservative types who think themselves responsible and laissez-faire, it's like they don't recognise that the underworld has huge amounts of power. The black economy never sleeps. The criminal elements, hey, don't even get dressed. Criminal elements are allowed to hide under the LGBT umbrella and the likes, and they play the Black Lives Matter game, be collectivists and be collectivist thieves. And we don't talk about that. We don't talk about it as to where we've got a generation coming through now that don't know shit and are fucking angry, ignorant, and but are angry. And they're desperate for people to lash out about, and individually they always find someone to pick on. It's like the fuckers will come for us all eventually. It's like we're never going to talk about that. The only person, as far as I'm concerned, that I've come across so far who understands the depth of the water is fucking James Lindsay. He's the only one so far, I think, who gets just how desperate things can become and have become with what's been done to the kids. Being, right, a working class kid who's had a lot done to him. Right, it's far worse now than it ever was. Because we used to face what the world was when we were kids at school. And often, you know, when people picked on us, we used to give it this. Come on in. Turn tables on them, or else fight them. It's like, as soon as you raise your fist to them, you fucking won. It's like, the situation's changed, you ain't being picked on no more. We call it mixing it. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Come on. We mix it. He knows how to, they say, he knows how to mix it. What does that mean? It means that if push comes to shove, he'll fucking kill you. He'll beat your ass to the ground and have you saying, please stop hitting me. It's like, that's where I've been. It's where I was raised. It's a matter of that. The whole world's that. In its own way, feral human. And in the world that's feral human, if you allow yourself to get picked on, they never stop and it just goes on forever. And that's it. It's like you end up then bending to someone's will. And next thing you know, they think they're cracking on. They work their way into your company because you've not got the fuck rid of them. And then you start to get kind of used to people, and next thing you know, you're in the company of fucking arseholes. Because you don't stand up for yourself when you get shit tested off fucking arseholes. So it's like, when someone comes along to shit test you, to throw you a little bit of shit, to see how you react to it, and your response to it is, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And they go, and then you go, your fucking face. And then we understand that we're not playing that game, don't we? And the only game that's available is to let's kill each other. And then it'd be a matter of, should we not do that? And it'd be, yeah, we'll agree not to, but you know not to fuck with me, and I know not to fuck with you. As to where that's the thing, it's like the place I was born with, the place I was raised, you find yourself having very powerful exchanges with people as a matter of course. And most people are absolute masters at it. As to, these northern, the people who are most afraid of my kind, as northerners, the red wall, right? The Labour Party that's sort of shitting their pants that they might one day lose control of this place, they don't listen to anybody here because they can't deal with us. They just can't deal with us. So they brand us, call us something, and say he's not allowed to engage, and they've just done it to everyone. First him, then him, then him, then him, then him, then him, then him. And being a known right-wing troll. That's all they have to say, yeah. A known right-wing troll, and then the next thing you know, they don't engage with you anymore. You don't exist. They in essence, remove you from the process of politics. You're gone. You're not allowed to step forward, you're not allowed to speak. And they are frightened that they might lose control of the place. But they don't talk to anybody, they don't listen to anybody. They keep it amongst themselves completely.